Okay, so if you're ready to see one possible solution, here's what we've got. So remember, everything in here is the same as the first challenge until we get down to here. I'm going to undo this a little bit and then talk about what the difference you might be seeing here is. But this is one example of a correct result. So before I talk about these three lines, which are the most important, these are our output statements, and this should be familiar to you if you've seen the videos where we talk about strings and printing. Remember, the \t gives you a tab. That's why there appears to be an indentation on these lines. Then we just have the text and then our booleans. And we have three booleans here. The first boolean is one real solution, and that happens when the discriminant is exactly 0. Has two real solutions is if the discriminant is positive. So one way you could have done this is just to have said, is the discriminant greater than 0? And another way you could have said, is it no real solutions, would just be, is the discriminant less than 0? And this will work in most cases. If you see here, saying you have no real solutions is the same as saying you don't have one solution and you don't have two solutions. So this is another way of saying that. The issue might arise with this line. And so remember, the discriminant is a double, and you can't exactly compare doubles in Java. It's not guaranteed to say that a number will exactly be 0. So what we've done is we've said, in this example at least, one solution is to take the absolute value of the discriminant and say that it's got to be smaller than some difference. So if the discriminant is, smaller than 0.000001, we say, okay, it's 0. Otherwise, it's not 0. So this is not something you have to be aware of to get the logic right here. This is more of something that if you try enough test cases, you're going to say, hey, this isn't behaving like I expect it to. It might be because of the way you're doing your comparison of doubles being equal. But this is a good example that uses comparisons, our equals, our greater than, and our nots and our ands if you want to do it that way. But again, it could have been simply discriminant less than 0 to get the same results. And again, you could see some weird behaviors here because of the way that rounding and precision works in Java. So a safer result is going to be to check that you're smaller than some arbitrary value, and you can say not has one real solution and it's positive, not has one real solution and is negative. This is a safer solution, but again, in testing, if you are able to make comparisons, the other solution that we looked at is just as valid. This is a better solution again because it handles double comparison, and we've talked about that before. But this kind of wraps up our talk on comparisons. And so starting in the next couple of videos, we're going to be talking about what we can do with comparisons and what makes them useful to us.